What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is going to be a bit interesting because because not only am I going to reveal the full set list for Battles of Legend Crystal Revenge which will be released next week, but I also want to talk about something that caught my eye that Ruxin34, big shout out to him, an awesome Yu-Gi tuber. If you guys haven't checked him out, check him out. He's an awesome dude. But he shot a video on his Ruxin34 live channel, because he has 3 channels. He has Pokerex, Ruxin34, and then Ruxin34 Live. On his live channel, he talked about how there was 9 Starlights in the set. But the question is why? What is going on? What are those cards? Well, I'm going to be talking about them in this video and talk about why that's the case. But hopefully hopefully you guys are ready for this episode. If you guys are and you guys want to see more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Friday, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on my social media, links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. The info will be in the description as well. And don't mind the lollipop. These are actually, this is what, gourmet? I actually have another one here. This is, original gourmet, yeah. Yeah, it's the original gourmet lollipop. This is orange creamsicle. So don't mind the lollipop, but if you guys don't know, Battles of Legend is basically our version of the OCG's Animation Chronicles set, which I've already talked about the cards that are in the set already. So if you guys have not checked out any of those videos, I recommend you check them out. But what I'm going to be doing in this video is basically just reviewing the cards and just giving you guys an idea of what they do for the most part. And then I'm going to be talking about the Starlight rares that are going to be in the set. And I'm curious of why there are 9. I don't even know. But let's kick things off with obviously Royal Straight Slasher. This is the card where the only way it can be summoned is off of Royal Straight. And if you send monsters from your hand, deck, or graveyard, from your hand or deck to your graveyard, with levels 1 through 5, then you basically get to nuke your opponent's entire board, their back row, their front lines, everything. And when he's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or I guess or he's just destroyed in battle, you basically get to target up to 3 light warriors in your grave and summon them, which is pretty cool. Then of course you got obviously Royal Straight, which is the card that you can use to summon Royal Straight Slasher, but you can also use it to summon Arcana Knight Joker as well, which is pretty cool. We got Dragon Nails, which was used in the anime by Joey, which basically gives a dark monster 600 attack. It can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and if it were to be sent to the grave because the monster was destroyed in battle and sent to the grave, it basically acts as a monster reborn. So it's a protection monster reborn, but the weird part is that you have to banish it when it leaves the field. How do you bypass the banish effect? Use that monster as Exceeds material, which is pretty cool. We have Thunderball, which is kind of a weird one. because this one, funny enough, I believe can work with oh, what's that one theme deck? I know it's not Dark World. Dark World is more of a discard deck. But I think this actually can work with the Morphtronics, as can these next two, Dice Dungeon and Dimension Dice, which is kind of hilarious. But with Thunderball, basically what you do is that at the end of the damage step, if a monster battled, you can just summon this card directly to your board from your hand, and you can send a trap from your hand or that's set on your field to the grave, and you can basically pop any and all monsters that are in that card's column, so it can basically work with the Mechanites, which is kind of hilarious. And if he were to be destroyed by battle, a card effect sent to the grave, you can target a card in your grave, roll a 6-sided die, and if it's a 6, add that target to your hand. Otherwise, it stays in your grave. So, yeah, it's just not that good. Now, Dice Dungeon and Dimension Dice can actually work with the Morphtronics, because the Morphtronics, I think the Self-On monsters have a 6-sided die effect. So Dice Dungeon and Dimension Dice can work with them, which is really cool. Which is pretty cool. We have Clockwork Knight, which can only work with the machines, and it gives all machine monsters you have on board 500 attack and defense, and your opponent's monsters that are machines lose 500 attack and defense. And the best part is that you can banish this card from your grave, and then discard, and then add an Earth machine from your deck to your hand. Gadgets can actually work with this. This card can actually work with gadgets, which is kind of hilarious. Then of course we have EN Shuffle, which basically acts as a one for one. I guess you could say. And then you also get to draw a card, which is really cool. Battle of Sleeping Spirits. This basically works with Neos. This card just ensures that your Neos can outmatch. Why am I itchy? I am so itchy. Can basically attack over one of your opponent's monsters, which is really nice. And then of course we got the Advanced Crystal Beast, which from what I saw from, I think, Jobber's video, apparently all of the Advanced Crystal Beasts are going to be secret rare, which is going to be pretty difficult to pull. So obviously we've got Advanced. So for the Advanced Crystal Beasts, we've got Ruby Carbuncle, in which all of the Advanced Crystal Beasts have the same effect as their original counterpart, but each of these has their own third effect, I guess you could say. So with Ruby, when she's with Ruby, basically when you summon her from the back row to the front lines, you basically get to summon out pretty much any and all advanced Crystal Beasts that you have in your back row, which is really nice. And with this cat, can actually let all of your Advanced Crystal Beasts attack your opponent directly, which is really cool. But the damage is cut in half. Emerald Turtle basically acts as, I guess you could say, a zero gravity. I guess you could say, where you can switch You'll switch monsters' battle position from attack to defense, or from defense to attack, which is really cool. Topaz Tiger gives all of your advanced crystal beasts an additional 400 attack, which is really cool. Amber Mammoth can actually act as a I guess I guess a much more like a really weird solemn judgment, I guess you could say, which is pretty cool. Excuse me. Cobalt Eagle acts as a terraforming where you can send this card from your hand to your grave, and then add Advanced Dark to your hand from the deck, which is really cool. And then Sapphire Pegasus is basically like the original Sapphire. Is basically like the original. You get to take a crystal from your deck, put it into the back row, which is really nice. And then next up we've got Dynabase, which basically acts as a, I guess you could say what's that one? Dark Hexseal Fuse? No. It's basically a poly. I was thinking of something else, but this is basically your polymerization for the Dinos, which is actually kind of hilarious. Then of course we got Dyna Tank, which actually is not that good. Obviously, it is true that so basically this acts as sort of like I guess an attack guidance arbor, but for effects. So it can change its target, the effect target from himself to another target. I guess you could say. Which is pretty cool. And then also too, if this card were to be destroyed by an opponent's card, which I guess it's either by battle or card effect, you can summon a Dino from your graveyard, so it acts as a Monster Reborn for the deck, which is really cool. Gadget Box is another one. Is one of the new Morphtronic cards, which basically it's token summon. You basically get to summon a token, go into your link plays, plain and simple. Morphtronic Impact Return is basically is sort of like a Pot of Avarice, but for spells and traps. But you get to target, but you can only target up to 2. Basically, you get to target up to 2 spells and traps that your opponent controls. Shuffle a Morphtronic monster from your hand into the deck, and shuffle the targeted cards into the deck, which is really cool. So it's sort of like a pot of Avarice, but you don't draw any cards, which is sad. Toolbox, not the best. Obviously, yeah, you do get to take 2 equip spells and let your opponent pick one. That one gets added to your hand, and the other card gets put in the bottom of the deck. Odds are they may end up picking the wrong one. So yeah, and then of course we got the cards the cards that were used by Yanagi from the 5D's anime. So we've got Crystal Skull, Curse Reflection Doll, and Stone Edge. I don't know what the... Really? Those are the only ones? I thought I was for certain we were gonna get the other cards, because there was a few others in those episodes. But I guess it is what it is, I guess. But Crystal Skull, when summoned, you take 1,000 damage. But if you activate Curse Reflection Doll, then it's your opponent that takes the damage instead, which is really cool. Which is pretty cool. And funny enough, I believe I believe these cards can actually work with was it with the gadget? I think the gadgets or I think the Magna Warriors. Yeah, I think this can actually work with the Magna Warriors, which is kind of hilarious. Stone Edge basically is basically a monster reborn, and it's basically an equipped monster reborn, which is that's all it is. Dream Shark is a 5-star, and I believe this is a Cyber Dragon. Yeah, this is basically a Cyber Dragon, which is really cool. Heroic Call basically is basically a Cyber Ref system, but for the heroics, which is really cool. And not only that, if your life points are 500 or less, you can banish the card from your grave and then target a face-up monster you control, and it gains 500 attack for each heroic card you currently control, and for each heroic card that's attached to Exceed monsters you also have as well. So it can either help you win games, or it can say fuck off, basically. And then of course we got the Cicada monsters. We got Oily Cicada, Dream Cicada, and number 2, Ninja Shadow Mosquito. I never thought we would ever get these cards again. I think we're missing one more monster, and that's the other number 1, which is, I think it's Infectious Buzz King. So I'm assuming we're probably gonna get that in next year's Battles of Legend, which honestly I'm excited, because I believe that's the last one we're missing. Yeah, I think that's like the last one we're missing. But basically, number 2's effect reads that he can't be destroyed in battle, and you take no damage from battles involving him, and all monsters you control, or rather your opponent controls, cannot or rather must attack if able. So it's sort of like a anime version of final attack orders, I guess, which is kind of hilarious. However, when an attack is declared, you can activate one of these effects. You can either detach a material from this card and place one hallucination counter. On one monster that your opponent controls. The effects, if any, are negated, or you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of one monster that has a hallucination counter, which is really cool. And then we've got the Ninjutsu Art of Mosquito Marching, which I believe is a sort of like a cyber ref system, and then you get to play, and then you can banish the card from your grave, and then place one hallucination counter on pretty much any and all monsters that that your opponent may have, which is really cool. And then we got Performer Pal Odd Eye Seer, which this card is weird. So its pendulum effect reads that you can target one Performer Pal or an Odd Eyes card in your grave, add it to your hand, and then destroy this card. And then it's a once per turn. So it's sort of like a, I guess you could say it's like a monster reincarnation, I guess you could say, which is really weird. And then we got the Doodle Beasts. I never thought we would ever see these show up. So we got Stego, Tyranno, and Doodlebug. I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking that that's a dumbass name. Yeah, you're damn right. Doodlebug. Not gonna lie, it kind of sounds like sounds like someone's about to have an orgasm. Honestly, it's just so stupid. It is so stupid. But I believe both of these have Cyber Dragon effects. Which, okay, let's see. Stego's effect reads if you control no monsters, or if all monsters you control are dinos, you can special summon this card from your hand If this card's normal special summon, you can add a dual book spell or sharp from your deck to your hand. Then discard a card. Yeah. So basically, I believe both of these are Cyber Dragon have Cyber Dragon effects. Yeah. So basically, they both have Cyber Dragon effects and dual book effect. Basically, it's sort of like a negate attack, Monster Reborn, I guess you could say. So it's kind of weird. Then of course we got more of Igiala's cards. We got more of those monsters. So we got we've got Todoroki, the Earthbolt Star, which Todoroki kind of sounds like Todoroki from My Hero Academia, which I already saw all 5 seasons, all the OVAs and all the movies. I'm just waiting for the dub of season 6 to come out. So then we got Senko, the Skybolt Star, Raijin, the Breakbolt Star, and I think those are the only ones. So I believe most of the star monsters have more than 5 stars, I think, which is kind of weird. Then we got the Amazonas cards. We got Amazonas Hall and Hot Spring. So Hall's effect, I believe is sort of like a monster reincarnation for the Amazonas archetype. Hot Spring, I believe, is sort of like a Stratos, or I guess like a Rhoda of sorts, which is really cool. Then we got a brand new archetype that will probably get support in the next core set after Photon Hypernova, the G Golem. So we got Rockhammer, Pebble Dog, Crystal Heart, Stubborn Menhir, Invalid Dolmen, significant Dignified Trillathon, and Gravity Balance. So those are basically all the new cards. And funny enough, Sign and Mining can actually work with this deck, which is hilarious. Then of course we got the reprints. So for the reprints, we got the original Crystal Beast, we got Ruby Carbuncle, Amethyst Cat, Emerald Turtle. I don't care if it says Tortoise, it's called Turtle. Turtle was used in the anime. I'm sticking with Turtle. Topaz Tiger, Amber Mammoth, Cobalt Eagle, Sapphire Pegasus, Advanced Dark, Rainbow Bridge, and then we got some Black Wings. We got Gale the Whirlwind, Boar the Spear, Sirocco the Dawn, Blizzard the Far North, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is actually the first reprint of its kind. Because its original print was, I think, Legendary Collection 5Ds, if I remember right. Blackwing Vayu the Emblem of Honor, Breeze the Zephyr, Simone the Poison Wind, Graham the Shining Star, Full Armor Master, and then of course we got Toon Blacklusted Soldier, Toon Harpy Lady, Toon Bookmark, Toon Page Flip, Toon Terror. Basically we're getting reprints from of cards that were from Toon Chaos, which is pretty cool. We've got the Chaos Creator, Chaos Daedalus, Chaos Valkyria, Chaos Space, Odd Eyes Persona Dragon, which I believe its original print was Dragons the Legend Unleashed, which I did an opening on years ago. If you guys haven't checked out that opening, I recommend you check it out. It was pretty crazy. Then we got Odd Eyes Phantasma Dragon, which I don't think I ever talked about on the channel before. But if I did, then hey, you know what? Might as well talk about it again. So it's an 8-star Dark Dragon Pendulum with 3K. Let's see, 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Pendulum scale is 0, and the pendulum effect reads: you can discard 1 card, add a face-up Dragon Pendulum from your extra deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So basically you get to add any Dragon Pendulum from your extra deck to your. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's sort of like a extra deck Rhoda, I guess you could say. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry guys, something got caught in my throat. Anyway, its monster effect reads: if you have 2 cards in your Pendulum Zone and a face-up Odd Eyes Pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. You cannot pen summon the turn you activate this effect. Oof. Damn. During damage cal, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can make that opponent's monster lose 1,000 attack for each Pendulum monster in your extra deck during damage cal only. You can only use each effect once per turn. Oh, so this basically just ensures that your opponent's monster loses. It's just that simple. Just that simple. Let's see here. Next up, we have Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, a nice reprint from Clash Rebellion, if I remember right. DD Crow, I think it was from Strike and Neos, if I remember right. Edgem Chain, Token Collector, Quackimero Supplier, Doom Kaiser Dragon, and Revive King Hades, which are very weird reprints, because we don't see zombie decks at all nowadays, which is weird. Very weird reprints. Borlo Savage Dragon, number 100 Numeron Dragon. I believe it only got a printing from Dragon's Legend Unleashed, so this card desperately needed a reprint. Future number 0, Utopic Draco Future. Excuse me. Let's see. Fright Fur Patchwork, Salmon Great Circle, which is another weird reprint. Fusion Destiny, Emblem of the Plunder Patrol, Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spears, Evandrid Savior, Celine Queen of the Master Magicians, which is another weird reprint, but still it's a pretty cool one. Axis Code Talker, and I never thought that Axis Code Talker would ever get another reprint, but it's going to be a secret rare for those who didn't see any of the openings. It's a secret rare. If it was an ultra rare, it probably would have been a lot more easier to pull, but it is what it is. Blackbeard the Plunder Patrol Captain, Artemis the Magis's Moon Maiden, Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill, and Evil Twin Lila, and then of course we got the Starlight Rare reprint. So we got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe Fusion Destiny is one of the other is the Starlight Rare reprint. So that basically counts as one. The other reprints, the other Starlight reprints are going to be Yatagarasu, Blackwing Armor Master, Super Poly, and get this, okay? Get this. You would think it would have been cards like Rainbow Dragon, cards like Rainbow Neos, Elemental Hero Neos. You would think it would have been cards like those. No. Konami decided to do a Starlight Rare reprint of all 5 pieces of Exodia. Why? Nobody plays Exodia anymore. What the fuck? This is I think, honestly, this is probably the dumbest, in my opinion, probably the dumbest move on Konami's part, because you look at the 5 pieces of Exodia, it is literally impossible. If you were looking at these from back in the day, then obviously the 5 pieces of Exodia, it's impossible to assemble all 5 pieces. Nowadays, we've got cards such as Feather of the Phoenix. We got Fool's Burial. You know, we have ways to ensure that we get all 5 pieces of Exodia to the hand, but these reprints are weird, especially Super Poly. Super Poly, we don't see Super Poly all that much anymore, unless if you were running it in mirror matches or something like that, then that's one thing. So it's a weird reprint. Armor Master is kind of a dumb one because we don't see Armor Master anymore. I know that my Blackwing build actually does use Blackwing Armor Master, but it's only a one of. But so even if you did see Armor Master in a deck, then it's only a one of. Yatagarasu, we're probably never gonna see this card seen in the meta. So, I mean, to be fair, it did recently come off the ban list, so I guess it makes sense. But Fusion Destiny, I believe, is the other reprint. Let me see. I believe it is. I want to see something really quickly. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm actually going on to YG organization to get a confirmation. Oh, it looks like it looks like we got some new cards to talk about. Ooh. Well, looks like I'll be talking about those cards in a future video. Cool. Save that one. Let's see. I think this might be the one. I think this is the one that I'm looking at. Let's see. That's if it'll go through. There we go. Alright, let's see. If I remember right, I believe it was Fusion Destiny. That's the Starlight reprint. No, it is not. It is not Fusion Destiny. It's actually Axis Code Talker. Oh my god, I didn't notice it. Oh my god. Okay, so Axis Code Talker, I can sort of understand Axis Code Talker being a Starlight rare reprint. That makes more sense than Fusion Destiny, because Fusion Destiny was reprinted recently as a Ultimate Rare. I think it was what, OTS 18 if I remember correctly. It was like 18 or 19, but that makes more sense. Yatagarasu it sort of makes sense because of the fact that it just came off the ban list, and we could potentially see it in a future deck, like maybe in an Exodia deck or something like that. So I can definitely see it. Blackwing Armor Master, kind of a weird one. Super Poly, don't think it should have been a Starlight Rare reprint. I think honestly Rainbow Dragon could have been should have been the Starlight Rare reprint, because Rainbow Dragon, because it's the idea of the set name, Crystal Revenge, Crystal Beasts, Rainbow Dragon. It would have made a lot more sense to have Rainbow Dragon in, as a replacement for either Armor Master or Super Poly. But Exodia, I don't know, that's kind of an odd one. I don't know why, but it's just weird. But you know what? That brings me to the question of the day. What are your guys' thoughts on the Starlight Rare reprints, and what cards do you think should have been the Starlight Rare reprints? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video for this week's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Friday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell, and follow me on my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And by the way, happy Veterans Day to everybody. Happy Veterans Day to all of the veterans out there in the world. I salute you guys, and on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.